Hey everyone, my name is Yongze Yao, and today I'm going to talk about evaluation of ubiquitous computing systems and applications. We're going to talk about two papers today. They both evaluate systems in an educational setting or a learning environment. The first one is called Investigating the Capture, Integration, and Access Problem of Ubiquitous Computing in an Educational Setting. And the second one is called Learning Dashboards, an Overview and Future Research Opportunities. And I'm going to start with the first paper. The first paper tries to demonstrate by example that applications research in ubiquitous computing must proceed by putting large-scale systems into everyday use so that their impact can be observed. The motivation of the authors is to develop and evaluate a large-scale system in ubiquitous computing applied to education. The system basically should be able to record lectures with different media types, integrate the streams recorded, and later provide easy access to the recordings. And related works include technology to integrate audio or video with text, which is essential in the integration process. The system they developed is called Classroom 2000, and the goal of the system is to capture a rich multimedia experience of lectures, automatically integrate the various streams of captured information, and provide a useful access into the record of the lectures. In some sense, it is very similar to UCSD podcast, but with more components and features. For example, it tries to provide a digital notebooks to students and automatically integrate the students' notes with recordings of other kinds of media. It also records each pen stroke of the instructor is made, so the user could choose a pen stroke and jump to the moment when that pen stroke is made, etc. As we can see, this picture depicts the Classroom 2000 system. The instructor can write notes on a digital whiteboard, which also supports presenting slides. And this picture shows the access process of the Classroom 2000 system. In the left picture, we can see that the student could choose a slide and jump to the moment when that slide is being played. And the right picture depicts the interface where the student could choose a pen stroke, as we can see on the right side, and jump to the moment when that pen stroke is made. The system's execution can be divided into four separate phases. The first one is pre-production, during which the instructors prepare slides and course materials, stuff like that. The second one is called live recording, which records the lectures by different media streams. The third one is called integration, which integrates the streams of different media so that they synchronize with each other. And the final phase is just access, which is simply accessing the recorded lectures. The authors of the paper deployed the system to 5 courses of 1 quarter and evaluate the system based on the data and the feedback they collected from those 5 courses of that quarter. The way they gather this data set, including looking at the access logs of the recorded lectures, doing interviews and questionnaires with both the instructors and the students, etc. Here are 2 diagrams of the access logs. The left diagram shows the requests for lecture notes, and the right one shows the requests for audio, and they are both split by weeks of that quarter. And from these data sets, the authors summarized and analyzed the impact of the system. In general, users appreciate the help of the system. 70% of the students did not feel that the availability of captured lecture materials encouraged them to miss class. And 78% felt that the technology in Classroom 2000 made the classroom experience more engaging or interesting. Besides positive feedback, there are also suggestions that get adopted by the authors and improve the system overall, which includes bigger whiteboards for the instructors to write notes and bigger granularity for accessing the recordings instead of each pen stroke, make it based on each sentence. And in the end, the authors have succeeded in implementing an environment that provides a reasonable amount of automation to record a classroom experience. And now let's get into the second paper. The second paper is different from the first paper in which it tries to evaluate a whole field of ubiquitous computing, which is learning dashboards, instead of a single project, by looking at multiple projects, summarizes and analyzes the data of their usage. It briefly talks about a bunch of different learning dashboard applications that tracks the user learning activities through special physical sensors like microphones, cameras, etc., and virtual sensors, which are logs of user activities like logins, logoffs, posting new content, etc. It presents an analysis of the state of art in the field of learning dashboards and summarizes and analyzes the data collected by all these different projects. For example, as this picture shows, it analyzes the attributes of all these projects and concludes what actions are relevant. The evaluation methods talked about in the second paper can be split into two groups. The first one is evaluating a given system in a controlled setting. For example, during a single session, we have an experimental group that learns the course material with the given system so that they can use the system however they want, and another control group that studies the same course material but without the given system, and then conduct interviews and questionnaires with both groups and came up with conclusions and future improvements. The second evaluation method is the same as the evaluation method of the first paper, in which we just deploy the system and ask the users for feedback. As we can see from both papers that in order to evaluate a ubiquitous computing system or application, we need to first deploy it into everyday use and then gather usage data and feedback from users afterwards to come up with an evaluation of the system and potential future improvements. Also note that this also means significant engineering challenges that any ubiquitous computing projects must face, because we have to come up with a working prototype of the system in order to evaluate it. And that is my presentation. Thank you, and have a good day.